Randy and I want to share our testimony to kind of bring you up to date. We had shared a testimony a few months back about how God has blessed us in so many ways since we've been up here in the Raleigh Durham or the Raleigh area, and we want to share where we are now, how God has given us um, what's the word, confirmation that that He's been listening to us. So we live in the outside of Raleigh, probably about 10 minutes from downtown, and we've been here 3 years, probably about right now, almost right, baby.
Yep, in the Raleigh, Garner area.
Garner, yeah, about 3 years. And when we came here, we left home. We're empty nesters, and we there's some directions. Some I think it's a story we already told how we got to the Raleigh area. But coming here, we wanted to. We knew eventually we were going to make a home here, but we had to sell our home. So we kind of want to tell you the story of how we got here, how we're where we are now, so that you can understand that God does not, He didn't pick us to bless us. He blesses all people, right?
Right.
There's no nothing we did that was so fantastic, but He did. So let's start back in November of last year, maybe, or sometime at the end of last year.
Were we in the apartment then? Or?
Yeah, I think we were in the apartment.
Well, we went from the townhouse
In Morrisville.
in Morrisville. We decided to downsize from that to save money and try an apartment. We thought we was going to be there for 18 months.
Yeah.
After about 6 months, we knew it wasn't a good fit for us. So we decided to, we had been looking around and we knew we didn't want to stay in Cary.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't want to stay. We had thought about Youngsville and Nightdale.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, we've been visiting Garner.
Mm-hmm.
Out and so we like Garner a little bit better. So we decided to start looking for a house in Garner.
Right.
Just checking out neighborhoods. Just on the waiver weekend or the spur of the moment, we'd see a house for rent. We wasn't ready to buy yet because our house still wasn't up for sale.
Right.
So we started just looking at rentals. We would just every weekend just start riding and coming out, and just checking out different areas. So we decided Garner would be a good place for us to not only rent but maybe decide to buy a house. But at the same time, we were looking for rentals, and we was noticing neighborhoods and because we wanted to rent somewhere near where we was going to stay just to get a feel for the area.
Right. And another reason why we picked this particular area, and I know this like, how's that a testimony? We picked it because it made it easy access to get home to see our family really, really quick. But so from where we are now, if we go back, we found a home in the Garner area and we rented. And it was a really nice neighborhood, easy access to both of our jobs. And it also allowed us to get to know the Garner area. So about maybe 3 or 4 months ago, we contacted our property managers that was managing our house that we have been renting out for 3 years. And we told them, hey, I know our renters are supposed to, their contract goes through August, but we really are thinking about putting our house in the market, and we want to make sure we put it on the market in the right time. So they said the right time was around, May or June?
Because that's June, because the soldiers start PCS and permanent change of stations, and that'll be the best time.
So we got our house. The renters moved out the end of May, and we did everything to get the house ready to put on the market. And after we had it ready for the market, it still took maybe a couple of weeks, right? Because our realtor was out of the country. And it's amazing because both of our realtors for this situation that we're going to go over went out the country during this process. So after we got it on the market, I think on a Thursday, I think some people looked at it within that weekend. So, right? So, I mean, I don't want to tell all the stuff.
Right. And the thing about it was we knew we wanted a quick sale. We didn't want it to sit. We was prepared for it to sit.
Right.
But we didn't want it to sit. And this where God comes in, where He's always in, but this where He shows up is that Tina's a teacher, so May would be your last paycheck.
Yeah, May was my last paycheck.
And we knew she wasn't gonna.
I didn't have any income coming in the month
not yet. Anyway.
Not yet. I really haven't had a paycheck.
We wanted to get the house ready. We was prepared to get it ready for whatever it took to get it ready and get it on the market. And then, but at the same time, we didn't want it to sit long because when we tried to sell it 3 years ago, it sat for
months. It sat for months. Yeah.
Months, and we didn't want to go back through that again. So we was hoping and believing that this time it wouldn't take that long. And after we got it ready, and I just had a feeling, and I said, this house is we're gonna have
an offer.
Yeah, we wanted somebody to just look at it because the last time we put it on the market, nobody even, I think one person looked at it.
Right.
But we set the offer. We wanted one price, and the realtor said, "Nah, let's go up higher than that."
Right.
And we was like, "Okay, you know more about it than we do," and we set that price. And I said, "We're gonna get an offer by the end of the week."
Yeah.
That we was believing for.
Right. And we did. And we got an offer. Actually, 2 people, I think, that looked at it was somewhat interested, but they didn't say it. The first person didn't say it. The second person was on the fence, is what they use in real estate terms. But they came the beginning of the week and they made an offer. So we had to go through that process. Making a long story short, prior to, or going back in April, we had saw some land that we were interested in. And I called Randy, or we had discussed it, and we put some money down on it to start building. But we hadn't even put a house on the market yet, or none of that. So we kind of reversed that. And then once we got this offer, what we did after that, we went
back out there. That lot, it was a nice neighborhood, beautiful neighborhood. Had a lot of character with trees and nice houses, and it wasn't that big of a subdivision.
Right.
And that same lot that we had held and backed out of, that same lot was sitting there waiting on us.
For 3 months.
For 3 months.
For 3 months it was still there.
All the lots around it was getting sold.
Right.
I mean, this was a high priority neighborhood.
Right.
And all the lots were getting sold. And we went back over there, and that lot was sitting right there. We called the lady, and she said, "That lot is waiting. That's your
lot. It's waiting on you." But when we got there, I wasn't feeling it.
I was ready.
He was ready.
It was a nice house. It was a nice house. I just wanted the house. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, but I was gonna be able to deal with it. You know, it didn't have any space. It was real close.
Right.
But it was the nicest neighborhood we had seen.
Right.
In this area, and I was ready.
It was a nice house, and I liked the house. But I was going there, and I was like, the property, a good bit. It's not quite an acre, but it was still a good bit of property. But something inside of me saying, this is not where we're supposed to be. And I told Randy it's not where we're supposed to be. So we left and went back.
Yeah, we was in the car, and Tina, I said, we're going to go talk to this lady. And she said, I don't know about talking to that lady. I'm like, what do you mean? You know, I thought we'd already agreed on this. And she wasn't feeling it. So I said, okay. But we left and went and looked at that other house.
Yeah.
With the messed up front yard.
Oh, yeah.
We had the girls with us. So we just kept riding and kept looking and looking and looking.
So what happened that same day, I was looking on Zillow, and this house came on the market. And I remember my husband always saying, I want a house that sits back off the road. Long driveway, front porch, screen-in porch.
Nice yard.
2-car garage, a nice size garage. So there was a lot of characteristics we were looking for in a house. And I saw this house, and I was like, I think we were still talking. I don't know if you was at work that time.
No, we were sitting at the table that night.
Yeah, we were sitting at the table that night, and we were talking. And I said, I want to go look at it. But he didn't know that I was going to go look at it the next day. But
I didn't know, but I was
hoping.
I wasn't trying to encourage you. I was hoping you went and look at it, because once you showed it to me, I was like, that's a nice house. Mm-hmm. That same night.
Right.
I went to work. That was a Thursday. I went to work that Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that morning I woke up, and I think I did something. It said, if you want to request the
Yeah.
open house, want to request a visit,
Right.
sign up for it. And before I left for work, I said, Tina, I said that house is accepting walkthroughs.
Right.
And I left it at that, not thinking whether I didn't know whether she was going to do it. She took the hint. I what because I wanted to see the house.
Right.
So I went on to work.
Right. But the thing about it, you couldn't just, now that I think of it, you couldn't just go by yourself. You had to go with a realtor. So I contacted our realtor, and he met me here, and we went to look at the house, and I just immediately fell in love. I'm like, this is where we need to be. The other house, like I said, was nice, but it was more square footage than we really need. And this house still got a pretty decent square footage to it, especially just being Randy and I. And, you know, our son comes home from college, and we have kids that come visit us and grandbabies. But, you know, we didn't need space like every day for everybody. Okay.
So you text me at work. All you said was, I love it. That's all you said. I didn't know where Tina was at. I didn't know what she was up to. I didn't know what she was talking about. She loved it. I don't know if she was buying me a new car or what. But she said, I love it. And I texted her. I called her. I said, you love what? And you told me you was at the house. I think you did a video, maybe. And I was like, no, I heard some guy talking. I didn't know Jesse. Who was that?
Yeah.
And it was the realtor.
Right. And it was Jesse and his wife.
Yeah.
So we were out here looking at the house, and I'm like, I'm ready to make an offer. You remember I said that?
Yeah.
I want to make an offer. And you were like, you really?
Okay. Yeah, I said, if you like it, go ahead and do it.
Go ahead and do it. But they weren't accepting offers
until Monday.
Until Monday. So on Saturday, we came back out. And Randy got to see it. And
that's all I need to see.
That's all you need
I told him we was ready. But the realtor said they're not taking anything by Monday. I said, hey, till Monday. He's not going to look at any by Monday. We could get him in.
Right.
And I was so pressured. I said, we got to get this thing in. And he said, we should have it in by the end of the day, Saturday. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
We should have it in by the end of the day, Sunday. It didn't happen. I was getting nervous. I was like, we're going to lose this house. We're going to lose this house without even putting
anything.
Any effort. We didn't even try anything. I was like, we're going to lose this house.
Yeah.
But the realtor said, hey, he's not looking at anything until Monday, so
okay,
it'll be all right. But why don't you write
a letter,
interest letter for the house? So I looked online and said, okay, I found something and said, hey, we're interested in the house. You know, it's a nice house. This is who we are. This is what we love about the house, and hoping you'll accept our offer. You know, accept our how did I say it? Interest in the house or whatever.
Right.
I'm Army and things and just like that. And that was it.
Yeah. And so we made an offer. We lowballed it. Not going to tell you the amount, but we did. So they came back, made a counter offer saying that they had another offer that was better. Could we go with this amount? And I said, no, I'm sorry. We can't do that. If it's not meant for us, it's not. Okay, that's fine. So they came back again and with a better number. See, when you're making an offer for a house, you got to make sure that house appraises for that amount. Because if it doesn't and they don't come down, then you got to make up the difference, however, by down payment or whatever the loan company wants you to do. So, man, we was going back and forth between trying to get stuff done for our other house we were selling and trying to buy this house.
We were steady putting money into that house. Not a lot of money, but unexpected expenses. And at the same time, we're thinking about, hey, we on one income right now.
Right.
You know, we had savings, but when you come time to sell a house, if you're not ready, it can start, you know, costing. And, you know, we had a budget for that house and a budget for this house coming in. And I mean, God was like, do you trust me?
Right.
Do you trust me? Hey, you got to do, and sometimes you just got to say, hey, this is what I got to do. You want to sell that house? You got to do this. And we want to sell that house. They could have told us to flip that house upside down and spin it, and we would have figured out a way to do it because we wanted to sell. It was a beautiful house, nice house.
Yeah, our home that we were selling.
It was just, you know, sometimes it had like a cloud over us because we wanted to be able to
be released from it.
Right.
Be released from it.
It was holding us.
Right. And it was just a lot of stuff. Even dealing with our, like I said, our realtor was out of the country. Dealing with the person, we weren't sure if we said no whether they were going to keep, they were going to be interested. And then this house, waiting for it to appraise, not having an income for 2 months. We had to pay rent at the house we were renting and mortgage at our home while we were waiting for it to sell. No income coming from me. No extra income coming in. I did not work an ounce. Matter of fact, was taking care of the grandbabies, doing stuff, throughout the summer. Okay, let's fast forward. Finally, the house here, the house there sold, closed. I had to run back and forth. I was having health problems. I was stressing and stuff. And finally, that house closed. I had to come with some more money to that house to finish it up. And then what happened? Somebody dropped the ball here.
We were supposed to close on the 5th. First time.
No, the first time we were supposed to close on the 2nd.
The second.
Which was on a Friday.
Right. It didn't happen.
Didn't happen because whoever was handling was underwriting had quit or left or whatever. And our loan people weren't checking on it. I was checking on it daily. Stuff wasn't getting done. And let me just tell you, Randy and I had great credit scores. Have improved our credit tremendously. Had great credit scores. Had enough resources, money-wise. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that not to brag or anything. I'm saying that sometimes it takes more than that. Also, when the enemy doesn't want, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to blame it on the enemy or anything, but what I'm saying is that our faith was tested to a point where when we were trying to make an offer on this house, we wanted the owner of this house to sign something to make sure we got the house. So we were trying to make stuff happen. And when you have faith in God, you don't make stuff happen. You believe that if that's what he has for you, that it's supposed to be for yours, that nothing can take it away. And we came to that point almost to the last day. Our closing date changed 4 times. I wasn't working, so that was all on my mind. Randy was working. I'm not saying he wasn't stressing, but it's just a little different. I'm at home. I didn't have anything to occupy my mind other than just being at home. So I had to get to a point where I'm saying my word, but I was really into my word, praying. And I said, God, if this house is not ours, even though we don't put down all that money, it's not worth my life.
Release us from it.
And I didn't know he was saying the same thing at work. Pretty much, I can't say the same time, but that same day we were saying that because I was stressing. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I mean, I was crying. I was hurting. Like I said, I was in my word. I was even playing word games on my phone because I had to get my mind off it. I couldn't stop. I went to the gym. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's when they called and last time we were gonna try to close on what day was we closing on?
Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, eventually it was that Friday. We did get the house appraised before the other house closed, so our appraisal was about $4,000 more than what we offered. So we have instant equity. But just other crazy stuff was just happening. Like my loan officers were asking for stuff at the last minute.
Silly stuff.
Silly stuff. To the point of when we closed, our loan officer had to come to closing, which doesn't happen, with $9 and some change.
And we had
already came up with a number.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that last day we were still going through all these closing. I told the realtor we were going back and forth. I told the realtor to stop bothering Tina and the loan officer. Leave Tina alone. Just talk to me. And we was going back and forth. And he said, hey, hopefully we'll get this done tomorrow. And I said, no. We're going to close on this house tomorrow. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. We're going to close on this house tomorrow. A couple hours later, we got a text an email saying.
Yeah, so it's
final.
It's final. We got an email and everything. Everything was complete. But even with everything complete, that same day, like I said, she shows up at closing. Okay, so that's just what we went through, and God, he is so faithful. But now we're in this house, this beautiful home, and we're not praising the home, we're praising God. But there's things that Randy, like I said, he asked for, I asked for. He asked for a white kitchen, asked for.
A long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I like hardwood floors. We have half and half, pretty much. Carpet upstairs in our bedroom and the family room, and then hardwood everywhere. And I'm not just saying some just regular hardwood they throw down. I mean, it's a nice hardwood with inlaid stuff. And that's not to brag. I'm just saying stuff we asked for. Randy wanted a surround sound. He always look at the little surround sound stuff. Remember we was at the my cousin's house we were renting? My cousin's house that we were renting had access panel to do surround sounds. As a matter of fact, they had surround sound in the ceiling, maybe?
Yeah.
I can't remember. But things like that. I'm trying to think of what else.
Shed.
The shed outside. Yard.
Fence. So little things like that I was
just little
hoping
things
for in a house.
That was hoping for. So we're saying all this not to tell our business, but whatever it is that you are asking for God, do not stop believing that He has not heard you. He is hearing you. He has heard you. And when God opened up the window and pour you out a blessing, you won't be able to receive. It doesn't mean you're not going to receive it. You're going to receive it, but you're going to have so much that you got to share it. That is the reason why we're making this video. So, thank you for listening. God is faithful and just. We give Him the praise and the glory and the honor for all that He does in our life. And, we're believing for more, not just for us to get more stuff, but more, whatever God is doing, He's going to give us the power and equip us to do what we need to do, to let Him know that we hear Him as well, and that we want to help others.
Yeah.
I
mean, we learned a lot in this process.
Yeah.
From not mistakes that we made or anything from buying and selling a house, but just from the people we dealt with to not get taken advantage of. A lot of stuff that we didn't know.
Yeah.
Because this is our first time we buying a pre-existing house.
Right.
Buying a house from a seller.
Right.
And there's a lot of things that we thought that we could force on him and force his hand. At the same time, he was holding steady.
Yeah.
Where he wasn't going to give it up. Whereas we was selling and we wanted to give up. We went up, put up with it. We gave them a lot.
Right.
To get out of our house. But this guy, he was holding tight, saying no. And so well, we wanted the house that much that we said, okay, just don't worry about it.
And it's a good house. So we're not saying,
we didn't want to come in and have to
do a whole lot of stuff. And we don't.
No.
And another thing, know what kind of loan you're getting and what your rights are. Because my husband's a veteran, and there's certain things they were trying to put onto the loan, adding on money. And I didn't give up. I'm like, no, that can't be on there. He's a veteran, and he has certain things that he qualified for. And no, that can't be on that loan. So know the law, do some research before you go out there and buy a house. And also that's on the natural end, but on the spiritual end is knowing that God is hearing you and that He loves you and He would never withhold anything good from you. But
before we go, I want to give Tina the credit because she's not a realtor, doesn't have realtor license, and she's not a mortgage broker. But when it comes to the numbers and research,
both houses. She
knew what the market was. Just, I'm like, what are you looking at? Why are you looking at those houses? Why are you still looking at those houses?
Mm-hmm.
She was just researching in her mind, and she knew what the market price was, the way to set the house.
Yeah.
She almost called it exactly for what it was going to sell
pretty
for.
Much, yeah.
And when it comes to the loan for this house, the mortgage, she just kept looking at numbers and kept looking at numbers and she... whenever we did so many DocuSigns, I got to the point where I would let Tina sign first.
Yeah.
Because I know she read it because I wasn't going to read that stuff.
Yeah.
If she signed it first, I knew it was good because she was good at catching. She was catching things that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to correct her name on the form.
Now you were correcting
20 times.
You were catching my name more than I was.
Form,
yeah.
They would send it her name wrong 20 different times, and we kept doing the same thing over. But as far as numbers, you had that stuff straight. You kept getting them straight about, hey, this ain't right.
No.
Hey, we shouldn't be charged this and things like that. So I thank you for doing that.
And I thank you for, you have an eye for words and things such as that. Even though my name was spelled wrong, I wasn't catching that one, but I was catching those numbers.
Even at the closing, the
Yeah.
law, we was signing at the
Oh yeah.
closing,
Even at
and
the law.
hey, that name is wrong.
Right.
Come on,
Yeah.
it's the last day.
Right. And even at I'm thinking at the closing at for our house there was some stuff that they
Same
got
thing,
wrong.
spelled stuff
Yeah,
wrong.
they
Yeah,
were spelling names wrong. But guys, have your stuff back. You don't want to sign your name to something and you come and find out that you
right,
don't own it because your name wasn't right.
right.
Because legal documents are very important. So that's on the natural end. But also I always like to reference the spiritual end because I many times I felt like I was in the fire like the Hebrew boys because it was getting hot, but I wasn't burned, but I was feeling it. I don't know if they were feeling it, but I was feeling it. And God is again faithful. He's
Yeah,
faithful.
there's a saying. I may not get it exactly the way he said. There's a saying that one of our pastors, it's a quote he said that I always think about, and he said, "He goes, God will not put things in your hand, but He will put it within your reach, so you can stretch your faith."
Yeah.
And that's true. He's
So
not gonna
true.
just give it to you, and sometimes that's when we think He said no,
Mhm.
but it's right there within. He puts it just so you can see it.
Mhm.
So you can, stretch your faith. You got to do something. You got to work,
Mhm.
to make it happen.
That's right.
But He'll give you all the resources, all the knowledge, all the wisdom to do it.
Mhm.
And that's why sometimes we say, well, we can't do it. Why we can't do it?
Yeah.
Because we don't want to do it.
Right. We don't want to withstand. We don't want to stay in the race. And I can definitely say with us, this situation has given us a testimony. It has given me resources to teach in my class. It has given me resources to help others because I've shared at church with others who are interested in buying a house. So now I can maybe help eliminate or alleviate or give them some resources to help and make an easier process for them. So don't lose hope. If he did it for us,
He'll do it for you.
all right. Good night.
Good night.